The sun had barely risen, casting a soft golden glow across the sleepy ranch as David Jenkins stepped outside, the crisp morning air filling his lungs. He'd come to expect the early mornings, but today felt different. There was an unsettling weight in his chest, a restlessness that had settled there over the past few days. He strolled toward the barn with its familiar creaks and groans, each step accompanied by the gentle rustling of hay and the distant sounds of livestock stirring awake. As he entered, though, something felt amiss. The usual calmness was replaced by a low murmur of anxiety that seemed to seep from every corner. Glancing down the row of stalls, he noticed Destiny standing in her paddock, her coat shining like polished silver under the light filtering through the barn doors. She was now approaching 2 years old. Her gangly legs had transformed into sturdy limbs full of promise and energy. There was a spark in her dark eyes as she nickered softly at him. She sensed something. "Hey there, girl," he murmured back, reaching out to stroke her velvety muzzle as he leaned against her stall door. "You ready for this?" Destiny snorted lightly in response, shifting on her hooves with eagerness that mirrored his own trepidation about what lay ahead. An auction block where dreams could rise or be shattered in an instant, though it wasn't just any sale. This event had drawn attention from all corners of Wyoming's equine community. David understood deeply how much was riding on this day, not just for Destiny, but for Christina Wells as well. They had both fought tirelessly to reclaim what once seemed lost after so much turmoil and uncertainty following Christina's accident months ago. As David prepared for their journey to town, memories flickered through his mind. The first time he found Destiny abandoned in his barn, with that heart-wrenching note tied around her tiny halter. The words echoed, "Please don't let her end up at auction." That plea resonated now more than ever. He filled a small trailer with essentials, buckets of water and hay, and made sure Destiny was comfortable inside before shutting the door firmly behind them. When they finally hitched up his truck and set off toward town, anticipation buzzed between them like electricity on a stormy night. With every bump along the gravel road leading away from home, David's thoughts drifted back to Christina. It had been months since they teamed up to build their new life together, a partnership forged from desperation, turned into hope, blossomed against all odds. Would today mark another chapter in their remarkable story? Arriving at the auction grounds sent waves of emotion crashing over him. The chatter and laughter intermingled with sharp whinnies from nervous horses, creating an atmosphere thick enough to taste fear mixed with excitement on everyone's tongues. "Just breathe," he told himself while glancing sideways at Destiny's eager expression reflected in the side mirror. A reminder that they were not alone in this journey, despite being surrounded by strangers who might not understand their bond. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, David maneuvered his truck into a spot at the edge of the auction grounds. The vibrant colors of banners fluttered in the light breeze, and he could hear the distant sound of chatter, laughter, and hooves clattering against metal stalls. A surge of excitement coursed through him as he took in the bustling scene, but it was accompanied by an undercurrent of anxiety that clung to his chest like a weight. He glanced at Destiny in the passenger seat. Her eyes were wide with curiosity as she scanned her surroundings. The foal had grown significantly since their first days together, her once unsteady legs now strong and nimble. Today marked another step in their journey, a chance for them to redefine their futures among strangers who may not understand their bond. "Ready for this?" he asked softly, his voice steady despite the flurry of emotions swirling within him. Destiny turned her head towards him, tilting it slightly as if pondering his question before letting out a soft nicker, a sweet sound that filled him with reassurance. He reached over and gently scratched behind her ears, feeling her warmth radiate through his fingertips. The aroma of fresh hay mingled with sweat-soaked leather, and dust danced through the air as David stepped out of the truck. Horses whinnied nervously nearby, Some shifted uneasily in their pens, while others pranced back and forth, sensing tension like a brewing storm. He drew in a deep breath. No matter how chaotic things seemed around them, he needed to focus on what mattered most, the connection between him and destiny. With purposeful strides, they moved toward the main arena where buyers gathered to eye potential lots for sale. David felt eyes upon them, some curious glances from seasoned equestrians who knew performance horses inside and out, but also lingering stares from those whose intentions might be less honorable. The thought sent shivers down his spine. He was determined not to let anything happen to destiny. A sudden burst of laughter pierced through his thoughts as two men stood beside a striking black stallion proudly displaying its lineage, a promising show horse destined for greatness or profit. Frustration bubbled beneath David's skin. Here were animals reduced to mere commodities rather than living beings with hopes and dreams just like destiny. "Just breathe," he whispered again under his breath before adjusting Destiny's halter tightly around her muzzle as they entered the warm atmosphere of whispers and trade speak. Inside the arena gates, pastel banners fluttered overhead with numbers attached to each horse on display. Lots waiting for bidders willing to take risks or make heartless decisions based solely on bloodlines or monetary value. David's heart raced each time an attractive prospect caught someone's eye while tightening its grip every time destiny shuffled anxiously beside him, so small, yet so full of life. "Remember why we're here," he murmured softly into her ear just before their names were announced over loudspeakers echoing across well-worn wooden beams above. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the auction grounds as David maneuvered Destiny's trailer into a parking spot. The air buzzed with excitement and apprehension, mingling with the scent of fresh hay and the earthy musk of horses. An array of colorful banners flapped in the light breeze, each emblazoned with numbers signifying hopeful futures for many equine athletes. With a deep breath to steady his nerves, David stepped out of the truck, the gravel crunching beneath his boots. He turned to look at Destiny as she shifted restlessly inside the trailer. Her wide eyes sparkled with curiosity, her small frame vibrating with anticipation for what lay ahead. "You ready for this?" he asked softly, reaching up to scratch behind her ear. She nickered softly in response, nudging him gently, as if saying she was more than prepared for whatever adventure awaited them. "Let's do it," he said, firmly but gently, feeling a surge of determination swell within him as he opened the trailer door. The ramp lowered slowly, revealing bright sunlight spilling into their confined space, like an invitation to step forward into a world filled with promise and uncertainty. As Destiny exited onto solid ground, her hooves clicked rhythmically against the gravel, each sound a testament to her vitality and spirit. David led her through the bustling throng of spectators and participants alike. Voices swirled around them, a mixture of laughter and hushed conversations punctuated by sharp whinnies from nervous horses awaiting their fates in front of eager bidders. "Just stay close," he murmured reassuringly to Destiny while scanning the surroundings filled with vibrant energy that felt almost electric. People milled about with clipped lead ropes in hand or held stall cards high above their heads, each one looking for that perfect match between horse and owner. David guided Destiny toward an open area where they could find some quiet amid all that commotion. The noise became muffled here, like stepping into another realm where anxiety momentarily faded away. But even here, tucked slightly away from prying eyes, yet still exposed to potential buyers' gazes, David couldn't shake off his concerns about what might happen next. "Remember why we're here," he reiterated under his breath while adjusting her halter snugly around her muzzle before standing back to admire her form. In moments like these, when nothing else seemed clear, it was easy to remember how much Destiny meant not only to him, but also to Christina and everything they had fought together for since that fateful night months ago when she had first been left in his care. Destiny stomped lightly on soft grass beneath their feet. It was as if she sensed both his trepidation and excitement bubbling just beneath surface tension, woven tightly within their hearts. A shared understanding flowing silently between them. Soon enough came their names announced through loudspeakers echoing across worn wooden beams above. Next up is David Jenkins presenting Lot 42, Destin's Silver Dream. The cacophony of the auction arena enveloped David and Destiny as they stepped into the vibrant, bustling space where excitement crackled in the air. Brightly colored banners danced overhead, each marked with numbers denoting the horses on display. Each fluttering flap felt like a pulse echoing through the crowd, a mix of anticipation and anxious energy swirling around him. "Just breathe," he murmured softly to Destiny, adjusting her halter snugly around her muzzle as he stood beside her. The earthy scent of hay and fresh straw filled his nostrils, while the distant calls of auctioneers mingled with the low murmur of hopeful bidders. Destiny fidgeted slightly at his side, her bright eyes darting around, catching every sound that echoed through the wooden beams above them. She was small, but bursting with spirit, full of potential, and it thrilled David to think about how far they had come since that stormy night when she first appeared in his barn. "Remember why we're here," he whispered again into her ear, feeling an almost magnetic connection between them, as if their shared journey had woven an invisible thread binding their fates together. The warmth radiating from Destiny's body calmed him. He could sense both her nervousness and her eagerness to shine in this unfamiliar setting. As they approached the center stage for Lot 42, a wave of mixed emotions washed over him. Anxiety collided with pride, while adrenaline surged within his chest. He looked down at Destiny, whose tiny hooves made soft impressions in the grass beneath them. It was as if she understood how pivotal this moment would be for both their futures. The announcer's voice boomed across the arena. "Next up is David Jenkins presenting Lot 42, Destin's Silver Dream." At that proclamation, a surge of energy flowed through David's veins like wildfire, igniting a long-hidden spark. This was it, the culmination of their hard work and unwavering dedication. Destiny trotted forward confidently at first, but soon glanced back at David, her gaze searching for reassurance in this sea of strangers. He caught her eye and nodded firmly, trying to convey strength through simple gestures. "You've got this," he whispered encouragingly as they moved closer to the judges seated before them. With every step taken inside those gates came memories flooding back, late-night feedings when she struggled to latch onto that bottle, endless hours spent grooming her silky coat until it shone under his careful touch, countless moments training alongside Christina as they nurtured not only Destiny's skills, but also their own budding partnership that transcended mere ownership. David steadied himself against mounting pressure as he remembered all those conversations with Christina, how she spoke passionately about nurturing each horse's unique qualities rather than merely racing towards monetary gain or prestige alone. Destiny stood with her head high, the sun glinting off her sleek coat as David adjusted her halter, ensuring it fit snugly around her muzzle. He took a moment to admire her, this remarkable horse who had become so much more than just an orphaned foal left in his barn months ago. Destiny was a symbol of resilience and hope for both him and Christina, embodying everything they had fought for since that fateful night. The vibrant sounds of the show arena filled the air. Excitement crackled like static as they moved closer to the entrance. David could feel the anticipation thrumming beneath his skin, a mix of nerves and eagerness swirling together like storm clouds on the horizon. Destiny seemed attuned to his emotions, lightly stomping her hooves on the soft grass as if echoing his own fervent heartbeat. "Next up is David Jenkins presenting Lot 42, Destin's Silver Dream." The announcer's voice boomed through the loudspeakers, causing a rush of adrenaline to course through David. He looked down at Destiny, whose dark eyes sparkled with curiosity and determination. "You've got this," he murmured softly, giving her a reassuring pat on her neck. It was essential that she sensed confidence radiating from him now. They were partners in this journey. As they stepped inside those imposing gates, memories flooded back, late-night feedings when Destiny struggled to latch onto the bottle despite their efforts. Countless hours spent grooming every inch of her shiny coat until it glistened under bright barn lights. Long afternoons training together with Christina alongside them as they honed not only Destiny's skills, but also their growing bond. Each recollection pushed away doubt and replaced it with purpose. David felt pressure mounting within him as he recalled all those heartfelt conversations he had shared with Christina about nurturing each horse's individual qualities rather than racing toward accolades or wealth alone. This event was not merely about competition. It was about honoring everything they had built together. He inhaled deeply, steadying himself while guiding Destiny forward into view of the judges seated at their table. Each step echoed across the arena floor like thunderclaps in his chest, a reminder of how far they'd come since that cold night when Destiny first entered his life. "Show us what you've got," he whispered encouragingly under his breath while keeping an eye on every stride she took. A perfect blend of grace and strength shining brightly in front of them now. Together, they entered this world filled with possibilities beyond mere competition. It was their chance to showcase all that hard work and love poured into one another over time, the connections forged through sweat-soaked t-shirts after long training sessions where laughter mingled with exhaustion became palpable energy surrounding them both now. The judges watched intently as David led Destiny through their routine. Every maneuver executed flawlessly thanks to countless hours spent preparing for this momentous occasion together. The moment they stepped into the arena, David felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through him. Destiny stood proudly beside him, her silver coat glistening under the bright lights as she pranced lightly on her hooves. The hum of anticipation in the air was palpable. The crowd's energy crackled like static electricity against his skin. He could hear the rustle of programs and whispers of eager spectators, all waiting to see what this pair had prepared. "All right, girl," he murmured softly, squeezing her shoulder reassuringly. Their journey had been arduous and filled with challenges that tested both their resolve and patience. Yet here they were, ready to showcase their hard work. David's heart swelled with pride as he recalled late nights spent nursing Destiny when she first arrived at his ranch, her tiny body nestled against him as she learned to trust him enough to suckle from the bottle. With each training session under Christina's watchful eye, those fledgling moments transformed into something profound. The days turned into weeks, filled with grooming sessions where soft brushes glided over Destiny's coat until it gleamed like polished marble. Countless hours spent perfecting routines in sun-drenched paddocks echoed in his mind, a montage of laughter intertwined with exertion that ultimately forged an unbreakable bond between them. David steadied himself, taking a deep breath that settled the fluttering anxiety in his chest. They moved forward together, one fluid motion that spoke volumes about their connection. As they entered the judged area, he reminded himself how far they'd come from that chilly night when Destiny was left alone in his barn. That desperate note still weighed heavily on his heart. Each word seemed imbued with hope and urgency, a plea for protection for a young soul destined for greatness despite its rocky start. "Show us what you got," he whispered encouragingly as they closed the distance to the judges seated before them. The memories flooded back, moments where doubt flickered within him, moments when Destiny seemed skittish around new people or sounds would send her bolting away like a startled deer. But those fears began to dissipate over time. Each stride taken inside those gates resonated with confidence, built upon trust, nurtured through dedication and love. As David guided Destiny through their routine, every maneuver executed flawlessly under their practice synergy became evidence not just of preparation, but of mutual respect developed through countless interactions. He watched intently as she responded effortlessly to his cues. The way her ears perked up at every gentle direction felt electric, grounding him further in this partnership, transcending mere ownership. It was evident that this was teamwork born from understanding one another's rhythms. "Good girl," he praised softly as they transitioned smoothly into their next movement. A sliding stop followed by intricate spins that highlighted not only Destiny's athleticism, but also David's ability to lead without forceful commands. As David led Destiny through their intricate routine, the atmosphere pulsed with anticipation. The audience's eyes were locked onto them, every breath hushed in admiration as they showcased the results of countless hours spent nurturing this extraordinary bond. Destiny moved gracefully, her coat shimmering under the arena lights, each stride resonating with strength and elegance. Amidst the applause and admiration emerged whispers of doubt from a small group of spectators huddled near the entrance. David caught snippets of their conversation, a mix of skepticism and envy that gnawed at him like a persistent itch he couldn't quite scratch. "Did you hear about that horse?" one woman muttered, her tone dripping with disdain. "She was abandoned. How can they trust someone who didn't even want her?" A murmur of agreement rippled through the group, igniting a fire in David's chest. He focused intently on Destiny, pushing aside the weight of their words to concentrate solely on his partner. With every cue he delivered, every subtle motion, it was clear she responded not just to commands, but to their shared journey. A journey marked by resilience and love. "We've trained hard," he murmured softly to himself, feeling Destiny's ears flick back as if she could sense his turmoil. "You've earned this moment." The routine continued flawlessly. A sliding stop transitioned into spins that dazzled both judges and spectators alike. Yet in those moments where they excelled, David sensed shadows lurking at the edges. The critics' voices crept back into his mind like unwelcome guests refusing to leave. "What are they thinking?" he wondered briefly, before shaking off that nagging worry. They would have to see for themselves what Destiny was capable of, not just as an athlete, but as part of something much bigger than herself. And then it hit him. They wouldn't understand unless they saw it all unfold right here, right now, in front of them. "Look at us," he whispered fiercely as they entered another maneuver. "We're more than our pasts." Destiny surged forward beneath him, mirroring his determination, a blend of hope and spirit translating into breathtaking movement across the arena floor. But then came another voice from nearby. "They say she'll never be anything special. Just a charity case thrown together out there." This voice sliced through the arena noise like glass breaking on concrete. David felt heat rise within him, threatening to spill over as anger bubbled just beneath his skin. Charity? Wasn't it more than that? Wasn't their partnership built on mutual respect? On healing? Didn't everyone deserve a second chance? "Hold tight, girl," he said firmly under his breath. Through gritted teeth, he guided Destiny into yet another spin, while forcing himself to swallow back rising frustration directed toward those dismissive comments. With each rotation around center stage and every whirling turn, they danced not only for themselves, but against those judgments enveloping them like dark clouds threatening rain on what should have been a bright day filled with victory. As David maneuvered Destiny through the exercises they had practiced, he felt an electrifying connection between them, the rhythm of their movements harmonizing into a beautiful dance. Each cue he gave was met with an eager response from her, a testament to the bond they were forging. The sun cast long shadows across the arena floor as she glided effortlessly beneath him, her muscles rippling in fluid motion. It was more than just training. It was the blossoming of trust and understanding that transcended mere ownership. "Good girl," he murmured softly, his heart swelling with pride as they seamlessly transitioned into a sliding stop, followed by spins that showcased both Destiny's grace and his own quiet strength as a rider. With every maneuver executed flawlessly, it felt as though the world outside faded away, leaving only the two of them in this sacred space of growth and mutual respect. Yet amidst this moment of joy came unwelcome whispers, voices that sliced through the buzz of spectators like shards of glass scraping against metal. "Charity?" One voice sneered derisively from the sidelines. David's jaw clenched tightly at this dismissive remark, indignation simmering beneath his calm exterior. What did they know about the struggles he and Destiny had faced together? Their journey had been anything but charity. It was built upon perseverance and healing, a shared experience born from desperation. "Hold tight, girl," he whispered under his breath, biting back frustration while guiding Destiny into another spin with firm yet gentle pressure on her sides. He refused to let negativity pull him down. Instead, he focused on her willing spirit as they danced around center stage. Each rotation brought them closer, not just to their own victory, but to proving everyone wrong who doubted their partnership. The atmosphere thickened with tension as comments continued to swirl among some observers. Yet, amid it all, David found solace in Destiny's steadfastness, the way she kept her head high even when others belittled what she represented. Hope, reborn through struggle. He tightened his grip on the reins slightly. She seemed to sense his determination radiating off him like warmth from sunlight breaking through clouds. With each turn and movement executed elegantly beneath him, her hooves pounding rhythmically against packed earth, they became a whirlwind of power and poise together, defying expectations with every step taken confidently forward. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed throughout the arena, a sound startling enough to jolt David out of his focus momentarily. Destiny paused mid-spin, but quickly regained her composure at his reassuring touch on her neck, reminding her where safety lay even amidst chaos. "It's okay," David soothed gently, while leaning close towards her ear so only she could hear him over mounting noise surrounding them. The whispers of uncertainty juxtaposed against roaring applause from those who believed in second chances like theirs. David felt the tension coil around him like a tightly wound spring, every muscle in his body focused on maintaining their rhythm and grace. Destiny was more than just a horse. She was a reflection of hope, resilience, and the promise of new beginnings. But as they spun through their routine, the whispers seeped in, voices that scoffed at their bond, labeling it as mere charity rather than the powerful partnership it truly was. With gritted teeth, he guided Destiny into another spin. "Hold tight, girl," he murmured under his breath, channeling his frustration into energy that propelled them forward. He could feel her warmth beneath him, the steady thrum of her heartbeat syncing with his own as they danced together against a backdrop of skepticism. Each rotation was not just about showing off skills, but about defying those who doubted them, their shared journey filled with hardship and triumph. As David lost himself in their performance, an unexpected sharp crack echoed through the arena, startling enough to wrench him from his concentration momentarily. Destiny halted, mid-spin, sensing the sudden shift in atmosphere. Panic threatened to bubble up within David. He could see her eyes widen slightly, muscles tense as if preparing for flight at any moment. Leaning close to her neck, where only she could hear him above the mounting noise surrounding them, a chaotic mix of gasps and applause, he whispered soothing words meant solely for her. "It's okay." His fingers brushed over her sleek coat reassuringly while he maintained contact to bring her back from the brink of alarm. The world around them seemed to fade away. It was just him and destiny again, a single entity moving together through time and space against all odds. "Let's keep going," David encouraged gently but firmly, feeling both anxiety about how easily things could unravel and excitement over how far they'd come together since that fateful night when destiny had been left alone in his barn. He nudged her forward once more, this time with confidence renewed. And as they began to regain momentum, applause erupted from an audience willing to embrace their story instead of dismissing it. But then came another unwelcome distraction. Voices filtered through the crowd again like static electricity charging the air around them. "Isn't it sad?" one person remarked loudly enough for David to catch snippets between movements. "Just look at them. It's like she's just playing dress-up." Another added disdainfully, "She'll never be competitive, not really." Anger flared inside him, a raging inferno ready to consume everything if allowed, but he forced himself to breathe deeply through clenched teeth. It wasn't about proving anyone wrong. This journey had never hinged upon validation from outsiders who lacked understanding of what true connection looked like. Destiny sensed his turmoil, but pressed on bravely nonetheless. The smoothness returning once more as they settled back into an effortless rhythm amid swirling doubts voiced by others who couldn't see beyond surface-level assumptions about worthiness or talent. Destiny surged forward, her hooves striking the ground with fierce determination as David guided her through a series of intricate maneuvers. The vibrant atmosphere of the arena buzzed with anticipation, and the sunlight cast a warm glow over their partnership. Each spin and stop flowed seamlessly, a testament to their months of hard work and unwavering commitment to each other. Yet, just as they reached the peak of their performance, an unexpected crack sliced through the air like lightning, an ominous sound that broke David's concentration momentarily. Destiny stumbled slightly mid-spin, but quickly regained her balance under his calm touch. "It's all right," he murmured softly against her neck, pressing his cheek close enough for her to sense his steadiness amid the chaos surrounding them. The uncertainty swirling in the whispers mixed with enthusiastic cheers from those who believed in their journey. As they resumed their rhythm, however, David couldn't shake off the negativity that floated around him like an unwanted shadow. "Look at them," he overheard someone sneer dismissively. "She's just playing dress-up." Another voice piped in with disdainful certainty. "She'll never be competitive, not really." A storm brewed within him. Anger bubbled beneath his skin like molten lava ready to erupt. Yet he inhaled deeply, forcing himself to remain grounded. This journey had never been about validation or proving naysayers wrong. It was about forging something genuine amidst harsh realities, a bond that transcended doubts and expectations. Feeling destiny's slight quiver beneath him mirrored his own inner turmoil. She sensed his struggle yet pressed on fearlessly, her spirit undaunted by external judgments as they fell back into sync once more. Each movement radiated confidence. She danced across the dirt floor like a silvery ghost defying gravity itself, brimming with promise, even when met with skepticism. As they completed another pattern before the crowd, cheers erupted anew, a wave of applause cascading down upon them like warm summer rain washing away doubt. "Come on!" he urged Destiny softly yet firmly when tensions threatened to rise again at another disapproving whisper nearby. "Let's show them what we've got." With renewed focus igniting within him alongside Destiny's determination mirrored back through bright eyes full of trust, they launched forward together into one final spin, a breathtaking display culminating in a perfect slide stop as dust swirled up around them like fireworks exploding against an evening sky. Cheers erupted louder than ever before. It drowned out any lingering doubts or negativity hanging in the air behind them. Their moment lit up brighter than anything else surrounding them could ever cast shadows on. The atmosphere buzzed with electric anticipation as David and Destiny took a breath before their final performance. The arena filled with spectators, but amidst the applause, he could hear whispers slicing through the air like blades. "Isn't it sad?" one voice remarked loudly, causing David's jaw to tighten. "Just look at them. It's like she's just playing dress-up." Another added disdainfully, "She'll never be competitive, not really." Each word was a spark to the fire of frustration igniting inside him, a smoldering rage that threatened to boil over. He clenched his teeth, fighting for composure as he focused on what lay ahead rather than the judgmental tone swirling around them. This journey had never been about external validation. It was about the bond they'd formed, a connection forged through trials and triumphs. Destiny could feel his unease vibrating beneath her skin. Despite this tension, she pressed forward, her resolve shining through as they found their rhythm again against the backdrop of skepticism surrounding them. David couldn't help but marvel at her spirit, the way she responded to his slightest cue with an eagerness that brought warmth flooding into his chest. "Come on," he urged softly yet firmly when the murmurs from the sidelines turned sharper at another disapproving comment drifting their way. With fresh determination surging between horse and rider, they propelled themselves into action, every stride brimming with purpose and trust in one another. As they gathered speed for one last spin together, David felt Destiny spring beneath him, her muscles working in flawless harmony as they broke through any doubts that lingered in the air. They executed each maneuver with precision, every turn seamless and every stop breathtakingly sharp. Dust exploded around them like confetti, celebrating their unity, while cheers erupted from enthusiastic supporters, drowning out negativity once buried deep in whispered shadows. As they approached the final display, an awe-inspiring slide stop, the crowd roared louder than ever before. Jubilant applause washed over them like warm sunlight, breaking through storm clouds. It wasn't merely a moment of victory. It transformed into something monumental, a declaration that transcended mere competition. It was proof of their undeniable connection against all odds. David glanced toward the stands where skeptical eyes softened into admiration as cheers rang clear above earlier doubts. He pulled back on Destiny's reins gently but confidently. She slowed gracefully beside him, as if understanding exactly what this meant, not just for them, but also for those who'd witnessed their journey unfold. Breathless yet exhilarated by what they'd accomplished together, their bond solidified further by overcoming criticism. David let out a low laugh of pure joy mixed with relief. The crowd's cheers swelled, enveloping David and Destiny like a warm embrace as they stood together in the arena. Destiny's coat shimmered under the bright lights, her muscles taut and ready. David could feel her heartbeat thrumming against his leg, a rhythmic pulse that matched the excitement swirling around them. With each breath, he inhaled the rich scent of leather and horse sweat mixed with the lingering hint of dust from their earlier maneuvers. "Let's show them what we're made of," David urged softly, his voice steady despite the anticipation crackling in the air. Destiny flicked her ears back, responding to his confidence with an eager nicker as they prepared for one last display, a test that would solidify their journey together. As they took off into motion, every stride felt powerful and electric. The way Destiny moved reminded him of water flowing effortlessly over smooth stones, graceful yet commanding. Together, they flew into a spin that seemed to defy gravity itself. She twirled beneath him with an innate sense of rhythm he had come to trust completely. "Here we go," David shouted as they transitioned into their final maneuver, the slide stop, a hallmark of precision in reigning competitions. He felt Destiny's body tensing under him as she braced for the move while he leaned slightly back to aid in her balance. Dust erupted around them like confetti at a celebration when she slid to a halt. hooves digging momentarily into the earth before coming to rest. The roar from spectators reached a crescendo. Applause rang out like thunderclaps echoing through canyons. In this moment, doubts dissipated like smoke in wind. Those whispers that had haunted them were silenced by jubilant shouts celebrating their undeniable connection. David caught sight of faces lit up with admiration where once there had been skepticism, smiles breaking free from frowns as disbelief melted away under sheer determination displayed by man and mare alike. He couldn't suppress the laughter bubbling up inside him, a laugh full of joy and relief mingled together as he pulled back gently on Destiny's reins. Slowing down gracefully beside him, Destiny turned her head towards David as if sensing his pride radiating outward toward her glowing spirit. Her eyes sparkled with excitement while he whispered praises, words tumbling out in gratitude for all she had accomplished alongside him on this incredible journey since finding her alone that fateful night. "Look at you. You've shown everyone what we can do," he murmured affectionately while reaching out to stroke her neck, a familiar gesture that spoke volumes about their bond built over time through trials faced side by side. As they left behind remnants of doubt among cheering crowds now fully invested in their story, the weight lifted from David's shoulders was palpable. Their victory meant more than just scores or placements. It signified triumph over adversity, woven tightly within every facet of life leading up until now. As they made their way from the arena, Destiny pranced beside David, her youthful energy bubbling over. The sounds of applause still echoed in his ears, a symphony of admiration that seemed to wrap around them like a warm blanket. It wasn't just a victory. It was a testament to their hard work and unwavering bond, a moment that marked the beginning of something extraordinary. David could feel the warmth of pride swelling within him as he looked at Destiny. Her coat gleamed under the lights, muscles rippling with each step she took. He couldn't help but chuckle softly at how far they had come since that fateful night when he first found her alone in his barn. "You've proven yourself today," he whispered, patting her neck gently. "I always knew you had it in you." Destiny responded with an enthusiastic nicker, her big, dark eyes sparkling with joy as if she understood every word he said. They strolled slowly towards the stable area, where fellow competitors and spectators alike offered congratulations and compliments about their performance. The sweet scent of hay mixed with the earthy aroma of horses filled the air, grounding David amid all the excitement. "Did you see that last spin?" he exclaimed to Elaine, who walked alongside them. "She nailed it!" "Absolutely. You two have become quite the team," Elaine replied with a broad smile. There was genuine warmth in her voice, reflecting back all those months spent training together, the early mornings and late evenings spent perfecting every maneuver. For David, this wasn't merely about winning ribbons or accolades. It was about finding purpose again after losing so much. With Leslie gone and years passing quietly on the ranch without much companionship beyond his animals, Destiny had breathed new life into him. She wasn't just a horse. She represented hope, a chance for renewal against all odds. Together they entered the barn where cool air greeted them like an old friend after their exhilarating adventure outside. As David carefully unfastened Destiny's bridle and began grooming her down, each stroke felt intimate, an expression of gratitude for everything she brought into his life. "You're incredible," he murmured, while brushing away loose dirt from her coat, marveling at how seamlessly they communicated without words now. The little gestures between them spoke volumes more than any praise ever could. Yet in this moment of triumph lingered another thought. There were still challenges ahead, not only for him, but for Christina too, as she continued to recover fully from her accident. Their partnership would need nurturing, just like Destiny's growth would require care beyond competitions. Elaine interrupted his thoughts as she stepped closer, with curiosity dancing in her eyes. "What are your plans now? What do you think Christina will want to do next?" David hesitated momentarily before answering honestly. I think we keep pushing forward together. As David brushed away the last remnants of dirt from Destiny's gleaming coat, he could feel the pride swelling within him. She stood poised and vibrant, every bit the champion they had worked tirelessly to become. The air was electric with celebration, a palpable buzz that rippled through the crowd surrounding them. Cheers erupted like fireworks as onlookers marveled at their performance, a culmination of hard work, resilience, and undeniable connection. You've shown everyone what we're capable of, he murmured softly into her ear, his heart brimming with gratitude for every moment they had shared since she first arrived in his barn under such precarious circumstances. His hand glided along her neck, feeling the warmth of her muscles beneath the silky fur. In that brief contact lay a world of understanding, a silent communication built through months of training and trust forged in adversity. But amidst this joy lingered a bittersweet awareness. Challenges still lay ahead, not only for him, but also for Christina as she continued her recovery journey after everything she had endured. Their partnership required nurturing beyond mere competitions. It demanded commitment to each other's growth and well-being. Elaine stepped closer to David, curiosity alight in her eyes as she leaned against the fence separating them from Destiny's paddock. What do you think Christina will want to do next? Her voice held an undercurrent of excitement mixed with uncertainty. David paused for a moment, contemplating their future together while watching Destiny frolic playfully nearby, her spirit so unrestrained now compared to that timid foal he'd found all those months ago. I think we keep pushing forward together, he replied thoughtfully. There's so much more we can achieve if we stay united. A smile broke across Elaine's face as she nodded vigorously. I knew you two were meant to find each other. You're both stronger together than apart. The sunlight bathed them in warm hues as they took a moment to appreciate how far they had come. The bond formed by unforeseen circumstances leading them here today was truly remarkable. The cheers from earlier still echoed faintly in his ears, while triumphant memories washed over him like gentle waves. Then, Destiny trotted up closer and nuzzled against David's shoulder with an affectionate whinny that sent warmth flooding through his chest again. Her big, dark eyes sparkled with intelligence and joy. She seemed to sense how special this day was not just for her, but for everyone involved. Christina approached moments later, wearing a wide grin that matched Destiny's exuberance perfectly, despite any residual effects lingering from her accident. She radiated hope and determination, a testament to overcoming obstacles neither thought would one day be part of their reality again. David! She called out excitedly as they locked eyes across the paddock, unable to suppress their grins any longer before rushing toward each other. I can't believe how amazing you both were out there. I watched it all from my spot behind the gate. David couldn't contain the smile spreading across his face as he stood next to Destiny, her sleek silver coat glimmering in the afternoon sun. She pranced around him, her energy a joyful reminder of how far they had come together. The air was filled with the sweet scent of fresh grass and the distant sound of chirping birds. It felt like a celebration not just for Destiny, but for all three of them. Look at her go! He exclaimed, laughter bubbling up as Destiny kicked playfully at the ground, clearly relishing every moment. He reached out to scratch her neck, feeling her warmth and excitement pulse through him like an electric current. This bond they'd forged felt like magic, an unspoken understanding that tied them together. Christina's bright voice rang out across the paddock, interrupting his thoughts. David, I can hardly believe how incredible you both were out there. I watched every second. Her enthusiasm radiated towards him like sunshine breaking through clouds on a dreary day. Turning toward her, David's heart swelled with pride as Christina approached, determination shining in her eyes despite everything she had endured. We couldn't have done it without you, he replied earnestly, gratitude flooding his tone. You taught me so much about training and riding these amazing animals. They exchanged knowing smiles, filled with shared triumph and affection, a connection that had deepened over their time spent together, through challenges faced and victories celebrated. It was more than just about horses. It was about healing and partnership. Watching you from behind the gate made me feel alive again, Christina said breathlessly, excitement still sparking in her voice. I never imagined we'd reach this point after everything that happened. I think we were meant to find each other, David mused softly. Taking a moment to reflect on their journey, the pain they had both experienced had led them here. Two souls united by an extraordinary foal who had changed their lives entirely. As if sensing their conversation's weightiness, Destiny nuzzled into David's shoulder, warm breath tickling his skin, while those big, dark eyes sparkled with mischief and affection. A reminder that this vibrant creature was at the center of it all. The way she leaned against him solidified what he'd come to understand over this past year. Their relationship was built on trust and love. We've got so much ahead of us, David said thoughtfully as he gazed at Christina, who now sported renewed hope glimmering in her expression, a stark contrast to when they first met. We need to keep pushing forward. A determined nod from Christina affirmed their shared vision for what lay ahead. Not only would they work hard training Destiny for competitions, they would also continue building something greater between them, a legacy rooted in kindness for horses and dedication to one another. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden glow over the landscape, David stood side by side with Christina in the paddock, watching Destiny frolic with exuberance. The filly was filled with youthful energy, her dappled gray coat shimmering like silver in the fading light. She darted around, kicking up clumps of grass, as if celebrating not just her first birthday, but also the journey that had led them all to this moment. Christina's eyes sparkled with happiness as she glanced at David. I can hardly believe how far we've come, she said, her voice rich with emotion. It feels like only yesterday when I was struggling to even speak. A sense of warmth washed over David at her words. It reminded him of those early days when hope felt elusive. Look at her go. David pointed toward Destiny, who pranced about like a jubilant dancer on stage. Her playful antics made them both chuckle, the sound mingling with soft whinnies echoing around them. Destiny seemed to understand that this day was special. Perhaps she sensed that her presence had woven their lives together in ways none could have anticipated. I never thought I'd see you riding again, he remarked as he admired Christina's radiant spirit, something he hadn't seen since before her accident. You fought so hard for this. Thanks to you and your support, Christina replied sincerely, leaning slightly against the fence as they both watched their beloved horse explore every corner of the paddock. If it weren't for you, well, I don't even want to think about it. The two shared a moment of silence as they took in the beautiful scene. The mountains standing proudly against a backdrop of pastel hues, while Dream grazed peacefully nearby. Each breath brought a reminder of what they had endured, fear, uncertainty, and pain, but also courage, friendship, and love. We still have much work ahead, David stated thoughtfully after a few moments passed. There were competitions to prepare for and training sessions waiting on the horizon. But instead of feeling weighed down by tasks or pressures of expectations, he felt an undeniable excitement bubble within him, an eagerness fueled by partnership rather than isolation. Absolutely, with Destiny growing stronger each day and us working together. Christina's voice trailed off into an optimistic smile that lit up her face further. We can build something amazing, David agreed wholeheartedly. Their shared vision transcended mere success. It was about nurturing something precious between them while giving Destiny every opportunity to shine bright in life. As twilight began settling around them like a comforting blanket, Christina turned toward David once more, a glint of determination sparkling in her gaze, as if imagining future possibilities stretching infinitely before them. And who knows? One day we might even breed another foal from Dream, she mused aloud, playfully, yet infused with genuine ambition. Just imagine, he laughed lightly at the thought, a little sibling for Destiny running around here.